Hello and welcome to a Command OK tutorial, I guess you can call it that. So today I'm going to be talking about the question that I get most on my channel, which is, Coleman, how do you record? So I thought I'd make a quick video here to show you how I do that. So I use this nifty little program here called Fraps. I'm just going to talk to you through the settings that I use when recording games. So the first tab is the General tab. I don't normally have anything ticked in here. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you, personal preference and all that. You need to have this ticked here, monitor area desktop. If you want to record your desktop, that is what I am doing right now. So yes, you won't need that ticked if you want to record games, so don't worry about that. Now onto the FPS overlay. It's one of the important things you need really. I have mine in the top left corner. It shows the current FPS I am at right now, so 5, 10, 20, whatever. Now, when you are recording, you normally want to be above 30 FPS. That is the smooth video that I usually try and get out. If it's below 25 FPS, you're going to have a problem. You're going to need to stop recording and try and sort something out so it is above 30 FPS to get smooth videos. Now, on to the most important tab, which is this. I will explain this in a minute, but the most important bit is this here. Don't know if you can see my cursor, but it's the FPS bit. Now, you have to remember that YouTube only goes up to 30 FPS. So if you're recording 50 or 60 FPS, it's a complete waste. The file size of the recordings is going to be massive. So 30 FPS is what I recommend. Honestly, just go 30. Don't argue with me. Just go 30 FPS. It's the best. Full size, half size, that's up to you. It depends on your rig. I can go full size because I am recording onto another hard drive here. So this hard drive I have highlighted now is my Windows hard drive. And the other hard drive is primarily just for recording and anything else I want to store. So this is currently where I'm recording now. And that is what this is about. So always change that. I have separate folders for my game. This is just Battlefield, Terraria, Serious Sam. And that's about it for that. So remember, 30 FPS. Do it! Alright. Now, the sound. Again, this is your rig. All rigs are different. Nothing is the same. But these are the settings I use and I think most people use. So, stereo. And now I record. When I record my games, I also use Fraps to record my audio from my mic. Here. But to do that, I need to change the settings here. As you can see, you have Fraps volume here. And if I start a game, so we'll just go here. Whoops, not the store. Let's start Terraria quickly. Now, as you can see here, you have Terraria here. Usually when I'm recording a game, the game sound is much louder than my microphone sound. So I need to turn this down. I usually take it down to about halfway, a little bit past that, and it's perfectly fine. You should be clear, crisp, whatever. That should be fine. So we'll just close this. Goodbye. And that's about it for the video tab. You don't really need anything. Well, you could have that. Alright, so when you record, it will stay at 30 FPS. It won't go above that because I have noticed that Fraps does do that. And there is a few problems with Fraps. I mean, you can get black spots on videos, you could get audio problems, and you do get frame drops. It's Fraps is very good, but it's also very bad sometimes. It can be very frustrating. But these problems are fixable. So that's about it for Fraps, really. Nothing really more to almost close it while recording. That would have been silly. Alright, so when running my videos, actually, I should show you the specs of my rig. As you can see here, I have 8 GB of RAM, Intel i5, 3.3, 4 core. Nothing amazing. My graphics card is an ATI Radeon HD 5870, 2 GB memory. Nothing amazing there, let's be honest. This PC probably cost me about £800, £700, something around that. So when what's up there? Okay. Anyway, let's delete that. So when rendering our apps, the first thing you want to do is go into File New, and you will get this here. So the settings I use, you will get this big pull down menu here. I know it's all very confusing, but the thing, if you want to render in 720p, I would recommend this. No, not that. Let me just find it for you. This one here, HDV 720 30p. But if you want to render in 1080p, this one here. This is what I am currently using. It's at 8-bit. Got to change this here, I believe, 10,000 square. Change the frame rate to that, or whatever frame you have. But remember, YouTube only goes to 30 FPS. Anything above that, wasted. Audio, I don't think I'll change anything here. So just leave that. I recommend that. Alright, so on to the important bit. Let's just slide this in here, Battlefield 3. Now, what do you want? What do you want? No. Alright, so we've got some footage here. Now, what's happened to my thing? There we go. Alright, so we click render as. Now you get this box here. I have two templates that I use. Only two, 1080p and 720p. I will show you my 720p because that is the one I use most often because it is quicker to render. Now, as you can see here, the settings for my 720p are CBR, Windows Media Audio 9.2, 192 kilobits per second. That's down here, as you can see. Big. I know it's very confusing, but that's basically all you need. Now, onto the important tab here. You've got mode CBR, Windows Media Video 9, high definition 1280 by 720. If you do go 1080p, you will need to click this, and you will need to change the aspect ratio to, which is, I believe, 1920. I believe 1920 by 1080 here. Now you want to change the pixel aspect ratio to 1000 square, and you want to change the frame rate to NTSC. Keyframe, just leave that. That should be at 5 anyway. This should be at 3. Change video smoothness all the way up to 100. Bitrate. Bitrates are important for when you render the video size. The bigger the bitrate, the bigger the file size, but the better the quality. The lower the bitrate, the smaller the file size, but the lower the quality. Now, I find the best quality for 720p is 8. You can go 16 if you want, or you can go 22. I believe is also another good one. But again, the file size is going to be big, the render times are going to be longer. But that's completely up to you. It depends how much time you want to spend doing this. Whatever in here. And then in a project, you just want to change this here, video rendering quality to best. Now, I'll just quickly show you my 1080p rendering settings here. So you've got CBR again, all the same as last time, but you just change the aspect ratio. Again, if you click this, you will need to change that to 1920 by 1080. So remember to do that. The bitrate for 1080p, I will recommend going up to 16 megabytes. For 1080p, that'll be the best quality, but again, the rendering time is much longer. So that is completely up to you. Now, if you do have a slow PC, there's just one thing you can do to make your time easier, and that is go into view and change your video preview. So that will go away. You don't really need that open when you are rendering the video, because you're not going to be sat there for, say, 19 minutes rendering a 10-minute video and watching that slideshow. So that's about it. That is all I do when rendering videos. When it comes to, say you're going to build a rig, the one thing I would recommend is getting 2 hard drives. So you can have your Windows and your games on, and then you record to another drive, because it was just much simpler. These are 100 megabyte hard drives, 2 terabytes each. And it just makes life a lot easier, that's for sure. There are other audio recording software. There is Adobe Audition, if you want to use that. I used to use that, so I used to have this record external input disabled. I would record the game with Fraps. I would minimize it was just a pain in the ass, because I would minimize the game, start recording, count down to when I want to start commentating, and then when I'm finished, I have to minimize, stop recording, delete up to where I want. So where I start and where I end, there will be a bit before it. where it's just me breathing. Um, and then if I want to record another episode, and this, after doing the first one, I would have to do that all over again. So I'd have to save the file, edit it, whatever, and then start again. But it was just a pain in the ass. So I sorted Fraps out to record my game sound and my mic sound, and it just made life a whole lot easier. You just have to play around with the settings here in the mixer, and you can get it pretty damn easy, to be honest. But just make sure your quality of your videos is good, because no one wants to watch crappy videos. And that's about it. It's very simple. It's very easy to do. You just need a rather good computer to do this sort of stuff. But it's not expensive to do. So yeah, that's about it. Rate, comment, subscribe. If you have any comments, any questions, feel free to email in, whatever, and I will try and help you with them. And as always, until